Hey everyone, Neen here from the Hyperactive Bookworm. I'm running out of time for pretty much everything at the moment. I got my first COVID jab yesterday and I'm feeling okay, but I'm just feeling really leaden and my arm feels like dead weight and I just can't concentrate on my writing, which is what I was supposed to be doing today outside of the day job. And I thought, you know what? I have been procrastinating doing the bear badge for Jay's Sapphic book challenge. I was like, oh my God, just do it. Like, you have all the information there, just do it before you forget it. And I'm sure I'm going to forget the details of some of these books, but I'm so excited I got the bear badge. So that means I've read 30 Sapphic books that fit into the categories of the 50 categories that Jay has put down. I struggle to fit them into the categories, and I've realized, like, oh my gosh, this is probably going to be the last video where they're all in categories because I've read more books. I don't know where to put them. So it's going to be more of a case of these are the books that I've read. These are the books they can go in because I'm going to have to reshuffle the whole lot around. But I'm so excited about doing that anyway. So I have got specific categories that I think these books are going to stay in. But yeah, they'll probably all get moved in the end anyway. So yeah, the next video most likely will just be a case of here's the books, these are what they could fit in. Who knows where I'll put them. Anyway, so without going on any more, so the first book I read for the bear badge is Code of Conduct. Yes, most of them are ebooks on my pretty little device here because ebooks are fabulous. But anyway, so Code of Conduct is just, I love this book so much because it's Australian and it's tennis in Australia, and it's set in Brisbane for some of it, it's set outside of Brisbane for some of it, so it's so, you know, I never thought it would be necessary to read books set in towns, you know, set in your hometown, that kind of thing, but oh wow, it just has such a different vibe and feeling. And it's so cool that there are more books and more lesfic books as well that are set in Australia, and I can actually recognize the places, and it's so great. So yeah, so Code of Conduct, Cheyenne Blue. So it's about a Viva, who is a tennis player who, you know, major league tennis player, and she's basically had an injury and the scary retirement word comes up. It's such a great book. I've actually put this in, what category have I put this in at the moment? Enemies to Lovers Romance, because she has this war going with alliance person, an official. And yeah, it's so interesting, and it was a bit of an insight into the inside world of the tennising arena, and I loved this book, and I love Cheyenne's writing. It's just so atmospheric. So yay, that was the first book I read. The next one was Gretel on Her Own. I did a little review of this one as well. And it's a retelling of Hansel and Gretel, and as the title suggests, Gretel on Her Own. I've put this as character with an everyday job, which is a little bit hilarious because you think, what? But yeah, it is. It's 20 years after the Hansel and Gretel drama, the witch, the cottage, the candy, but it all touches in this book, and it's, you know, she's just trying to live a normal life, and it's just this really sweet, cute book, and it has these themes of, like, as the reader, you almost question, like, how, you know, her naivety, and it just, things get turned around and upside down, and I love the theme of candy and her sweet tooth that still runs through the whole thing. It's a short read and it's so adorable. So yay. The next book, yay, I actually have a paperback for this. It's Poppy Jenkins. So Cheyenne Blue, who wrote Code of Conduct, I got to interview on a previous video, and that was fun. And I also got to do an interview with Claire Ashton, who wrote Poppy Jenkins. And this one is just so beautiful. Small town in Wales? Yes, mid Wales. And it's kind of a second chance, well, it is second chance romance. It's got this delightful miscommunication and characters that are just so beautiful and lovely, and the countryside, you know, like the setting is just beautiful. It makes me want to go visit. 100% makes me want to go visit. This I've put under the category of TLR's Best of the Best list, so the Lesbian Review. If you are looking for a book for the Sapphic Challenge for that, there are so many great books. When I was looking through, I was like, oh my gosh, I've read a whole bunch that are on this list. And you can find it on the website, The Lesbian Review, and there's little tags, and it's the best of the best. So there are some great reads on there, and ones that have been recommended that I'm like, ooh, that I'm really looking forward to reading to as well. But this book is so delightfully delicious, and it's hilarious. I found the comedy of it so delightful, and just, I remember in the first few chapters, just this whole the only gay in the village kind of running joke and theme and stuff. It entertained me so much, and I'm totally in love with Rosalind. I may have mentioned her like 20 times in other videos already. She's the, you know, person who returns to the country town, and all fun and, you know, miscommunications happen, and it's delightful. All right, what's next? Kismet by T.B. Markinson. Such a good book. It was so good. Oh, there we go. That's better. It was so good and cute, and it made me go and read her Miracle Girl series, which I really enjoyed. This one I put down as One Night Stand to Forever. And I remember when I first read it, I was like, this is really cute. Like the first, maybe half, maybe not quite half of the book, they you know, they meet, and after, you know, devastating things happen with Dagny, and they meet, and for a while it's just, they're in their own little bubble, and it is just brilliant. So you kind of get caught up in this bubble just like they do. And I remember thinking, I don't want them to get out of this bubble. Like, I was almost upset when they had to get out of this bubble and continue the story. And then you see these dynamics for the characters, and it's just, it's fabulous. So really like this book. T.B. Markinson has this brilliant way of creating characters that frustrate the hell out of me, but then in the end I like them anyway. Like, I don't know how she does it. Like, they're so human and flawed at the start, and you love them by the end. So she's really got that brilliant character arc going. And this one is honestly my favorite T.B. Markinson so far. All right, what's next? Yeah, and that was One Night Stand to Forever. And, Irregular Heartbeat by Chris Zett. This was my first Chris Zett book, and I've seen her, like, people talking about them and her story, and, you know, and I've been like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And I finally gave this a go, and I am just, I have to read more of her stuff. Like, I really enjoyed it. I did get a little like, and roll my eyes a little at coincidental situation. But I mean, most books have them anyway. But this one just kind of, it just made me go, bleh. And that was about it. But that's like the only thing I can find that like yeah, because the rest was great. I loved the character. I loved the whole idea of second chance in life. You're not, like, the past will affect you, but you don't have to let it sort of define you. There's consequences, yes, but you can make them work for you. And also it's never too late, like, to change your life, but it's also never too late to stand up for what you believe. And that was the major carry-all that I kind of took away from this. Like, it's never too late for change. And that I thought was delightful. I put this under character is a medical professional because, yeah, absolutely was. Cool. Okay, next one is Next of Kin by Jay. I think every month I've read a Jay book because she's just so amazing. So this is book 2 of the Portland Police Bureau series, Portland Bureau series. Just says on here a romantic suspense novel, and it fabulously was. So it just carries on so well from the first book, which was Conflict of Interest. So this carries on from characters from that and some minor characters from that you get their story, and that's just fantastic. There's just so much in Jay's world and Jay's writing that you just, it's just my jam. It's totally my jam. I totally recommend this series. Things are never so simple, like, and it's not just a matter of them just not saying what they want. There's the dynamics of their situations, of their lives, of the differences of how they were brought up, differences of personalities, and how they all can work and help to balance each other. And yes, age gap. So this one went into age gap romance because there's quite a bit of an age gap. I can't remember exactly how much in this, but it's noticeable. So yeah, so that's cool. Oh, whoops, that's my battery coming up. All right, the next one is The Brutal Truth by Lee Winter. She just does the most incredible Ice Queens. I mean, there are Ice Queens and then there's Lee Winter Ice Queens. And I feel like I say this all the time and I'm repeating myself with these videos, but I don't care. They're just amazing. She has such a brilliant way of getting you to love characters that you can also hate. And the Ice Queens are just, they're fabulous. Like Elena Bartel, she's just everything. And Lee just brings out dynamics of every single human aspect. There's no such thing as a two-dimensional character in her books, and I love it. And I love, one of the main things I got from this book was that what may seem like the worst thing in the world can be turned on its head and you can make it the best thing. And it's about perspective, and it's about looking for the positive and kind of taking the world by its horns and leading the way. And plus, Ice Queens are hot. It's also partly set in Australia, which I loved. So I love Lee Winter. She's one of my favorite authors, so brilliant. Oh, and that was a shy or socially awkward character. Whoops. That's a category I put on for that. All right, now a mystery category. I did Hunter's Way by Jerry Hill. Now I had this book recommended to me and I had a lot of hope, and it was good. There were good aspects, but it really, I had to push myself through it to finish it. I just thought, how do I put this? I did enjoy it. Like, it was maybe 3.5 star for me. So it wasn't a bad book. It's just one that I don't really care to read the rest of the series. It definitely had the mystery going. I think my problem was the characters. I felt like they changed too much and not necessarily true to who they were. The character arcs just seemed a little unrealistic to me. And the triggering scene in it as well, the triggering scene wasn't the issue for me. It was how the character dealt with the trauma after that sort of, it didn't work for me. But other people love it, and that's cool because there's some great stuff in here as well. And I do like Hunter. Like, I do like the main character. I just felt like I felt like her change was too drastic, but my interpretation only. So still a good book, just not one of my favorites. All right, yes, I'm dropping stuff. All right, set in a country you don't live in. Yeah, I got told that this is wrong and I need to change the category of it, and I probably will because, you know, like, of course it's set in a country that I don't live in because it's a different planet. So Chronicles of Our Sea, Book 2, Without a Front, the Producer's Challenge. I'm in love with this book, so in love with this book. I've done a review on it. I could go on about Fletcher Delancey, sorry, that's the author, Fletcher Delancey, about her writing forever. It's just brilliant. There's never a moment where I'm reading these books, and they're thick. They're not little books that I'm distracted or thinking about something else and going, oh crap, what did I just read? They suck me in completely, utterly, totally. I love her world building. It is par to none. Like, it's just epic. Currently reading the third of this series, and just, you know, there would have to be something really drastically wrong in the later books for me not to be recommending this whole series. So far, 100%, and I love this book. It's a major 5-star book, one of my favorite books. And I now understand why other people I know, specifically Jay, goes on about how this is her favorite of the series, and I didn't understand, and now I can 100% understand. And if you do get it, make sure you have the third book ready, because you can't just end this book. You have to keep going because, yeah, it's intense. So, yay. That will probably change. Okay, now the last book I've read for the Bear Badge is, I put under category, character is a journalist or reporter. There are surprisingly amount of books I've read recently in Sapphic, that have characters that are journalists or reporters. I'm just like, what is going on? But anyway, the next one, the one that I've put down for that is The Miracle Girl by T.B. Markinson, which is the one that Kismet, the previous book, inspired me to go read, because The Miracle Girl kind of does a cameo in Kismet, but she's amazing. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Like, the character is, I'm just trying to word what I like so much about T.B. Markinson's works, and I think it's because of the raw grittiness. Like, the characters, they're not perfect in any way. Like, a lot of characters, they're always they have this kind of flaw, but overall they're like, you know, 95% perfect with this one flaw that makes them real, you know. But it's not like that with T.B. Markinson's. Like, there are things I like about The Miracle Girl, but then she has so many flaws, and I'm like, oh my God, stop being so human. And then I'm like, no, that's the awesomeness about it, is because she is so human, and I like her, and the flaws are so real, and it's not just one flaw. Like, there are aspects and there are levels of the flaws, and the flaws can become the positives, but not always. And so it's just, you know, they don't always make the right choices. And I really, really love that because it makes me feel like, oh my God, I feel so seen. And yeah, so that's just so awesome. But yeah, so that's my bear badge, and I am really excited because I've actually already read another seven books toward the main challenge of 50, and I have also read 8 of the 10 for the unicorn badge. So I know that I'll be changing up a lot of the other books on the main challenge, but for the unicorn badge, I really want to have them stuck there, sort of thing. So I don't know which one I'll be doing next, whether I'll get more to get up to the 40. There's no badge for the 40 books, but I figure I'll still do 40 books because 10 books is enough for one video. Yay, it's so cool. So if you don't know about the Sapphic Book Challenge, of course, I'll have all the links down below. It's so great to have so many different types of Sapphic books around now. I am loving just the amount I'm discovering this year through doing this book challenge. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you think. Okay, and if you're doing the book challenge, how is it going? Because I'd love to know. I'd love to know where people are up to. I'm blown away by anyone who's already completed so many more badges. You're amazing. So I will catch you later. Bye.